Well, good day, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your metal market wrap-up, and what a day in metals for this July 8th, 2025. Now, before I get anywhere, I want to thank all of you that took advantage of our sale. It's still going on. It ends at midnight Central Time, but what a good time you had, and I appreciate all of you taking advantage of that. So, this was the market that went bonkers today, and you're not reading a wrong price. The market is down 1,700 points. That's quite a bit. It's at 550. Remember when we were just talking recently? I said maybe you can get up to 550. I've probably been saying this since I've been talking about the London Metal Exchange when we saw the squeeze play there. Well, what happened today is President Trump said he thinks, and I'm quoting because I listened to him. So I was listening to it. He thinks he's going to go with a 50% tariff on copper. And then he turns to somebody and says, isn't that right? And they said, yes, that is, Mr. President. So that got copper going from the low to the high. I think it was 93 cents, 97 cents today. It's unbelievable what that did. It didn't take the copper miners yet up. We'll see. Smelters. Tonight I write about in my newsletter how long the process is to create a smelter, because America has plenty of copper. We don't smelt it, though. And that's our problem. We need more smelters, and then if you can get smelters done quicker, then you can get more mines going quicker. It's not as though we don't have copper in America. We have copper in America. Could we become self-sufficient? I don't know enough to tell you that. I can tell you that we import a heck of a lot of it, and that's going to change the game with a 50% tariff on it. So we'll see if that can be negotiated down or what goes on through there. When we look at other things today, you've got the Mortgage Bankers Association numbers coming out at 6 in the morning. We get the May wholesale inventories, and that's for May. Remember, that's always further back at 9. The Federal Reserve is going to release their June FOMC minutes. Everybody will be looking because so many people thought maybe the Fed can go in July. I did not and still do not. And tariff announcements. Now, we didn't hear about more countries today. So are we going to get a big slew of them tomorrow? Remember, the president was saying, and he says a lot of things, by July 9th that the letters would be going out. Remember, he kept saying that? I heard 14 countries yesterday. I didn't hear any letters today at all. It was copper that took center stage, and it was so off market the way he did it. It was just talking about it, and then all of a sudden, bing, there we go. We're pretty stable in the energy markets tonight. Bonds and notes getting a little bit of a lift. It's a very mixed picture in the foreign currency market. The dollar was a gainer today. And as you can see, the gold back to the 3,300 level. The market that's been under pressure is gold. Silver's gaining on it. That should not be a surprise to you. I've talked about that with you and why I like silver temporarily more than I do gold. So and I did that in that special report we had. So if you look at gold, you're not down a lot. You're down for the month, $22, for the week, let me say it right, for the week, $22 or about 0.7% in the market. You can see the momentum swinging, and support comes in, as I see it, at the 18-day average of closes of 32.42. When we look at the gold chart here, there's nothing super bullish on this. In order to get this market going, you'd have to go back to 4 days ago, actually, now that high there. You can see where we're at, too, how the market's been coming down. You have an outside day to the downside today. So when you get a pattern like that, there's a saying that I teach, which is that's a continuation pattern until the high is taken out. So it hasn't taken it out so far. What's the logical target? Well, it's certainly not the 18-day average. You're under that. So one target is the 32.2240, and the other target would be the Bollinger Band of 32.74. So 32.74, about $30 lower, that's one of the better targets. There's another thing that's been happening. Notice how the market, once it got underneath this 18-day average over here, the rallies have been contained at that 18-day average. So the market's not in that pattern, if you will, or that cycle, whatever you want to call it. We're trying to make higher highs. Rather, it's in a corrective pattern at this point in time, and momentum is no longer oversold, so you're probably getting some willing sellers in the market at these prices. In the gold-silver ratio, you do recall me bringing up to you the other day when I said, it looks to me like we're going to get what I call a kiss pattern. I'll show it to you right through here. There we go. So here's the market down, and we were talking, can it come up? And it did. It went to the 18-day average. That's what I call the kiss. You get the bounce. And now the question is, can you get back under this low? And you're trying to do that right now. If you do, it keeps accelerating silver versus gold. You'll get bumps in the road, but that seems to be the pattern, and that's what I thought when I did my last silver report for you. In silver, it's not as though this market's ready to run away. I don't want you to think that's what I'm saying. I see the market spinning in here. We need to come out to the top side and stay out of the Bollinger Band in order to say, this market's finally doing its job. Until then, I'm not ready to say that, but I am saying silver's stronger than gold. This is not a mistake in copper. This is not a bad quote. Look at the range of the market today to just give you an idea. 497 and a quarter up to 89. So it was a 92-cent range roughly. That's 92 cents a pound. That's a monster gain, 13.12%. So, let me bring this back for you. So don't be surprised you get a pullback and it tries to get back in the Bollinger Band. That's what it's trying to do. No surprise there. I feel that, I said over and over in these videos, be careful. There's a squeeze play at the London Metal Exchange. They have 20% of the amount of copper, and I said this about 3 weeks ago, on hand. There's been an 80% draw. They're shipping copper to the United States because there's fear of the tariffs. It proved to be good news. In platinum, still looking fairly okay, but I don't like the fact that you're overbought and trying to correct. And if you correct, you're being held back at the upper Bollinger Band. If you correct, you might go back to the 18-day average of closes. And this was that bear market rally that I was looking for in the dollar. It doesn't mean it had to peak here, but I think it is. So I'm thinking right here is where the market's going to have to now make its new gameplay. Often when you have a reading that corrects away from being terribly oversold, you like to go back to an 18-day average and see what it's going to do. So in keeping with that, remember, folks, you can always get some of our free offers right here. You can still go online and obviously subscribe for the 40% off that we're having on other things, but you only have a couple hours left. But as you can see here, there's so much. That's my trial to my SPDR ETF, and you can get my futures market video, free access to the research that we do for a short trial, just so you get to see it. We only give it once. And then after that, you're not going to be able to get them again. You can come in and try our trading platform. Do you like these charts behind me? You can get to work with them. You like price counts, many of you. You get to use with our QT platform and give that a try too. So there's just so much here. You'll see icons at the top. Just give them a click. It's iraepstein.com. And look on the left. You'll see free offers. You'll be right in there. Choose what you want out of the roll down screen. Move it with you. Click one of these that go into your cart and away you go. I'm Ira. Have yourself a great evening. Going to be an interesting day tomorrow, I think. Take care.